Hello, gamers, and welcome to Xbot and Pony. My name is Phil,
My name is Nick.
and there is a big rumor floating around the internet that this Friday we could finally get a general Nintendo Direct. The Nintendo gods may shower us with greatness, but I don't know. What do you think, Nick? Is this just people online getting a bit excited again, or is there some truth to it?
I know. I think there's a bit of Pinocchio going on. Everyone's nose is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
It's done this a few times this year, and I don't know. I mean, it has to happen. It has to happen, and it will happen in 2020. They're not going to not show us something in 2020. So a few things have popped up besides the rumor for the 28th. So the same thing happened again. It was prediction for the Nindies that just popped up, and the same leaker that said this is coming said on the 28th a full direct is coming.
Yeah.
Let's hope it's a full direct and not some
third-party showcase.
Third-party showcase or Nintendo Switch accessories showcase. Who knows? I mean, hopefully it happens. So
Pikmin 3 deep dive. That's what it will be.
Well, we could hit a Pikmin 3 deep dive, Bakugan deep dive.
Oh my god, people would be so annoyed.
It wouldn't surprise me.
The internet would implode.
It would, wouldn't it? Look, Nintendo is doomed. They're not. They're making a lot of money at the moment, and they're not doing much. So
okay, all right. Well, let's try and put it on a sort of like a spectrum. So the most positive outcome, I don't know about you, but for me would be a full general direct, like 45 minutes, showing at least the next 6 months, end of 2020 into 2021,
and teasers for next year as well. They've got to have something. They've got to tease for next year because we know there's nothing. We assume it's just remasters this year, and that's given me even more credit with Skyward Sword listing popping up as on Switch. And No More Heroes got a rating in Taiwan, and then somebody put on their CV that they made a Killer 7 Switch port and have since come out and said no, that was a mistake. Whether they're backpedaling because they're in trouble is another thing. I know for a fact that they were talking about trying to get Killer 7 on PS4 and Switch. They want it to reach a wider audience, and it should. That game is incredible, weird as hell, but it's incredible and really, really cool to play if you're into your quirky Japanese games. I hope we get No More Heroes. I mean, if No More Heroes 1 is coming, which that's pretty confirmed with a rating. Number 2 should come as well. You'd think you'd get the trilogy. But if they're coming, does that mean maybe digitally only? Does that mean that maybe the third one's been delayed? Do you release 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, probably. Let's be honest. It's not coming.
It might have been a small play into early, and they released 1 and 2 separately as digital to tie us over. I'm reaching, but I hope not. I hope we get No More Heroes 3 and 1 and 2 as well. I'd love to play all 3 of them on the Switch. And Zelda. That's more remasters. We know.
At the upper end, then, do you think we're going to get Breath of the Wild 2 release date? No. Is it 2020?
No, not happening.
The people can dream. The people can dream.
As much as we've seen these really short releases, they're not going to do that with Zelda. They need a good 6 months minimum.
Well, there was that sort of listing that came up for the special edition, the collector's edition, that said December.
Yep.
So you never know.
And we had the voice actors saying, it could be. It would make sense with the 2 consoles launching, definitely. But the Nintendo need to have Zelda against 2 I mean, again, we said that before in other videos that Microsoft and Sony are a little low themselves on massive exclusives. They've still got exclusives, but not big ones. So does Nintendo really have to go hard, or do they wait until next year with Zelda when Sony... Or do they not even look at Sony and Microsoft as competitors at all? Do they go, well, if someone owns an Xbox, they own a Switch. If they own a PlayStation, they own a Switch. I think there was a statistic the other day where I think 70% of gamers now own... who didn't own an Xbox now have started or decided that to buy an Xbox. So if they owned a PlayStation and a Switch, they've gone and bought an Xbox. If they own a PlayStation... No, something about all 3. So it wasn't specifically Switch or Xbox. It was... a whole bunch of gamers now own all 3. So to the point where you're at the end of the generation where if you didn't own a PlayStation, you're like, well, hell, I need a PlayStation because I've missed out on all these amazing person action adventure games that I can sit back and watch for about 8 hours and play for about 5 minutes. Just had to throw something in there. No, in all seriousness, if you didn't own a PlayStation and you've only owned an Xbox and a Switch, you probably should own a PlayStation by now, even with the PlayStation 5 coming out. Pick up a cheap PS4 because there's some amazing games that you've missed out on. And same with the Xbox. Grab it, grab Game Pass. You'll get all the exclusives if you've missed out. There's no reason to really jump onto these new consoles. With Nintendo launching...
Sorry, I was waiting for the connection to come back round. I was waiting for it.
Nintendo launching Zelda into these ones that are at their end of their lifespan, do they really need to do that? They're at their end of their lifespan. So people are picking up these consoles.
There you go.
Right? They're at the end of their lifespan. So do people... probably picking up a PlayStation, Xbox, they're probably going to be buying third-party games anyway, like Cyberpunk and that aren't on the Switch. So I don't think Nintendo has to release Zelda this year. I don't think so. I think they're like most companies. They will delay a game when it's not ready, and I can't see it being ready yet. I mean, if it's ready now, I can't see it being a massive step up from the first one. I can see it being a little bit like Last of Us 2, where it looked like it was going to be a huge step up and then it just turned into more of the same. Not dissing Last of Us 2. It is a fine game.
Yes, you are.
But I did like how the first part was all this open world and then all of a sudden it went back to linear corridors and you're like, give me more of the open stuff. But I think if it releases this year, it's just a bit too soon. Yeah. Just me personally.
Metroid 4?
So they're still hiring leads for that game. Leads. Yeah. It's not a Switch game. I can't even see it launching on the Switch. I honestly can't. It will come on Switch 2.0. And everyone can go, me, you're an idiot. No, it's just not coming. They scrapped it completely. They didn't even keep anything from Namco's version. They scrapped everything and went all the way back to the start and said, Retro, you do this. And Retro went, why didn't you get us to do this in the first place? Like, why'd you hand it over to them? Like, they're good for their fighting games. They can help out with Smash Bros. And stuff like that. I don't understand the decision to hand such a big game like that over to a third-party developer.
Okay. So on the spectrum, bringing it back, so that you were talking about the Super, that would be incredible. Those games released in the next 6 months or so, whatever, right? Then that gets revealed. Bit further back, in my head, it's going to be a game-specific direct. If there's any truth to it, maybe the Mario remasters. That would be a dedicated event.
That's probably the more likely scenario. And More Heroes might get a Twitter post saying coming Q1 2021 trailer. And then your Super Mario 3D, they might announce that there because it is a Mario game. 3D World, we know that's coming. It's been confirmed for a while now. Metroid Prime Trilogy could still possibly, maybe. I'm hoping. I'm reaching.
Never. It's never coming. Never.
That would be good to tie us over. But again, if they're releasing a Mario theme and a Zelda, I don't think they need to throw Metroid in there. I think it's probably too much. So we're talking about not having enough at the moment.
Being unreasonable.
We've got a Zelda remaster. We've got Mario remasters. We've got Mario 3D. We've got Pikmin. Possibly No More Heroes ports. Obviously it looks like Bayonetta's been delayed because we haven't seen anything on that at all. No More Heroes and Bayonetta might be next year, which is fine. So they don't need to release a Metroid trilogy in there. It could
be. What's wrong, buddy?
It could be something later on if they do it.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Mario is probably what they're going to show.
That's the likely, isn't it? All right, bring it back further along the spectrum. What's the lackluster? Like, I mean, it's okay, but...
Pikmin.
More Pikmin deep dive.
Deep dive. That's probably, Or maybe even Zelda, Skyward Sword remaster, deep dive.
I don't know. I think people would be excited for Skyward Sword. I think some people would be really excited, but maybe it wouldn't make a huge splash. Would be something like a Mario sports title. Like maybe a Sluggers or Strikers.
As you know, I got my little spreadsheets and I like to keep track of who's made what and what developers doing what and how long it's been since they've made their games. And they are due pretty much this year or early next for a Mario sports title.
There you go.
Whether it's golf or just a mixture sports title. There was murmurs of a Mario sports title because, fitting into the Mario theme, let's not go one specific sport. It would make sense. Mario sports, and that's a third. I mean, they make games exclusive to Nintendo, but they're like a second/third party. They make games for other people as well. So, if they were to do that, that'd be great. I'd be keen for something like that as well.
Something like that, or a WarioWare type title.
Yeah. Just something like a little mini game, something like that. And if it was the Wario game, that might even be a digital only thing. Again, with COVID, a lot of companies, especially Nintendo, tend to be just pushing the digital thing. Digital sales are high at the moment due to COVID and due to people just going away from physical. So something small like that is definitely a possibility. And it is due. If you're looking at the scheme of development time, it's definitely due.
I'm expecting a wild card of some sort, one of those weird gimmicky things that they do. So the equivalent of your next Wii Fit or your next Labo or your next Ring Fit adventure. There's going to be something
adventure with balance board combined snowboarding adventure. I don't know.
Ring Fit Plus, something like that. Yeah.
Ring. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they'll bring back that sleep thing.
Well, it's like COVID made that thing really sell well.
People stripping weight off heaps.
They make more stuff like that.
Apparently, really well. Years ago, my ex-partner, she lost weight using Wii Fit.
There you go.
She did. She used it all the time, and she lost weight. So as long as you stick to a decent diet and you do that instead of going out running, she just wasn't a big runner. She didn't like running, so it worked really well. So it can work.
There'll be something like that. There'll be some sort of kooky wild card type stuff on Nintendo.
That thing they put on your finger and that was gonna.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the sensor thing. Yeah, I know what you mean. I can't remember the word, but yeah.
Yeah, it can hook up, switch wirelessly, and record your sleep and tell you how long you're sleeping for. Our phone watch things do that these days.
Yeah. So, do you think we'll get Pokemon Snap this year? No. I mean, it looked pretty far along. It looked pretty well developed.
I can't see that game take too much development time, to be honest. I mean, it didn't exactly blow everybody away visually or anything like that. It's an on-rails thing, so it wouldn't be a lot of development.
Not that complex to make, though, right?
No, I can't see so. I mean, it's no different to your light gun shooters, really. You're kind of on rails and you're either shooting or taking photos. So probably a little bit more in-depth with the 3D models, but I'm sure they just rip models of Pokemon out of other games. I mean, it wouldn't be too hard to grab the previous games and chuck them in there and upscale them a bit.
So you've just reminded me. Do you remember those rumors floating around about a year ago that there was going to be a House of the Dead remake on the Switch? Maybe it's time.
Well, that ended up being House of the Dead. Was it House of the Dead that came out in the arcades in Japan?
There was a fifth one, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. So that's what that ended up being. So it didn't end up being a Switch. It ended up being... And they did say they wanted to bring it to consoles, but the technology is not there. So, but they were investigating console ports, but nothing come of it because it's too hard to shoot on our new fancy 4K plastic TVs that can't use light guns.
Nope. Okay, and right at the bottom of the spectrum, what would be a terrible direct on Friday? What would be like, oh, for God's sake, Nintendo, like, how many times were you going to keep pulling this trick on us? Because for me, it would be another third-party showcase.
I've got the right bottom of the barrel, what they've been doing all year. We don't get one.
Yeah.
That'd be the worst thing possible.
Yeah.
We don't get one, and we don't get one at all. It just doesn't happen, which I can't see happening. The third-party one, please no. Just let them release them when they want to. Just announce them. I mean, that was another one we missed. Tony Hawk's looks. People got the demo early, which you can when you pre-ordered. And of course, hackers went straight into that demo, and this doesn't look like Steam controller support. It was images of all control options on Switch.
Yep.
And we all know that Activision games have come lately. Same as Crash, it looks like Crash is probably going to be coming to Switch as well. So there's a few, late ports that have been traditional for the Switch, especially from Activision. That looks like they're going to come. But I hope Tony Hawk's definitely comes. That'd be
that would really be cool to go, wouldn't it?
To play on the Switch and just lock it at a nice 30 frames per second, and we'll be happy.
So that would be on the third-party showcase type presentation with that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think people will be like, oh, okay, that's nice that it's been confirmed and that we know it's coming, but it's not anything new.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's all remasters. It seems to be the year of remasters for Nintendo. I mean, they killed it at the start of the year of Animal Crossing, and obviously COVID helped with that, but it's still a good game, and they're selling so many copies. It's just ridiculous. 20 million plus.
Yeah.
On a console that's it's almost 50% attach rate, and that's just.
It's going to outsell Mario Kart, like no question. It's going to.
It will. It definitely will.
It will be the best-selling game on the console.
That's insane. That's just crazy. But yeah, good on them. Good on Nintendo. They're doing well.
Well, what do you guys think? Is this real? Is this Nintendo Direct actually coming this Friday, finally, after everyone's just constantly rumoring themselves into a corner? But there feels like there's some kind of truth to it this time. I don't know. Maybe. Do you think it's a full Direct? Is it just a dedicated game Direct? Or are we going to be disappointed with a third-party developer or partner showcase? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, guys, let us know below. I'm hoping for a full Direct and a third party all in one. Let's just 2 hours of Nintendo.
Invite everyone to the party.
Yeah, let's just get it all out there and go, stuff you, Sony and Microsoft. Yay, Nintendo. All right, guys. See you.
Bye.